Mommy, when we getting home?
Santa Rosa Tower to NC 1202. Can you read me? Over. Santa Rosa Tower to NC 1202. Can you read me? Give me a call, please. Over.
Give me Traffic Control Center at Oakland.
Santa Rosa Tower to NC 1202. Can you read me? Come in, please.
Control Center, this is Santa Rosa Tower. We've lost contact with a private
Santa Rosa
plane.
Tower to NC 1202.
NC
Can you read me?
1202. Last contact
Santa Rosa
on
Tower to
931,
NC 1202.
25 miles northeast of Bishop.
Can you read me?
Right waist to pilot. Think I've spotted the wreckage, sir. At 3 o'clock.
That's it, all right. Pilot to crew. Ready camera. We'll make 2 runs over the area.
On course, sir.
Okay, Mahoney. Start your camera.
Yes, sir. Good sharp picture, Sergeant.
It's that new camera, sir. This was the first run, 1053.
Well, they must have been killed instantly, if that's any consolation.
Photographic, Sergeant Hughes speaking. One moment. Your call to the sheriff's office, Captain.
Yeah, this is Captain Draper at Hamilton Field. We've located the wreckage of the plane. It's up on Thunder Mountain, a ledge on the southwest side. Altitude about 12,000 feet. 3 bodies, man, woman, and child. No, not yet. But we'll get their identities from the CIA and let you know. In the meantime, if you'll do what you can to recover the bodies. Be tough getting up those cliffs. And how? Goodbye, Sheriff.
Captain, look at this.
What is it?
It's a picture we made on the second run. Look at the kid's position. He moved. He's alive, sir.
Why, that tough little son of a gun.
Get me to the sheriff's office, quick. What was the difference in time between those pictures?
7 minutes, sir. Second run was 1100 on the nose.
Ask the operations officer to come here. Sheriff, Captain Draper, about that crash. Get a party started up Thunder Mountain right away. The kid's alive.
Pardon.
Forget it. I want a picture of Thunder Mountain, a winter shot. Something grim and dramatic if you got it. Plane crash, kid trapped on a mountain alone. Parents dead, name of Peterson, West Los Angeles. Check the home. And you'll get more if you get there first. So I've heard.
5 years old today. That's why they were flying back, so Johnny could have his birthday party at home. I baked that cake for him this morning. Chocolate, his favorite kind.
I'll look around the living room.
Oh, Lord. Lord, he'll be so cold up there. All alone.
Sure, it's tough, but a kid can take a lot. They'll get to him in time, don't you worry.
He's such a happy boy. Always laughing, even when he was a baby.
You've been with the family a long time?
Oh, I brought that baby up. I went with him when they got him.
Got him?
Carried him home in my arms. That sweet little face.
You mean he was adopted?
Well, that didn't make any difference. Mr. and Mrs. Peterson loved him like he was their own flesh and blood.
Where did they adopt him?
Well, right here in Los Angeles.
No, I mean, which foundling home? It's important. It'll help Johnny.
Oh, why? The shelter.
Petersons got any relatives?
No. No, Johnny was all they had.
Who was Johnny's mother, do you know?
Oh.
Pardon? Well, that's great. Look, dear, in a few minutes, this place will be crawling with reporters. Tell them what they want to know, but it'll be better for Johnny if they don't know he was adopted. Oh, I keep my mouth shut, but those other guys will spread it all over the front page.
All right, sir.
A couple of those, Tony. Right. I'll see you at the office.
I've already told you, Mr. Hardin, we're not at liberty to give you the name of the mother.
But you, of all people, must realize with the boy's foster parents dead, we'd be doing him a service in locating his mother. Her circumstances may have changed. She may want the child now.
I'm sorry. Circumstances don't alter our rules.
Haven't you heard? Rules are made to be broken. That boy is a foundling again. The Petersons had no family. He'll become a ward of the state. Is that what you want?
Mr. Hardin, for 18 years, we've worked hard to gain the absolute confidence of the people we deal with. Both the mothers and the foster parents know that they can rely on us.
Mrs. Gilbert, we all know the really splendid job you're doing here. And my paper would like to help in any way possible. What would you say to a big special feature on the shelter? Pictures and a good quote from you.
I gave up being vain about my picture 20 years ago. Good day, Mr. Hardin.
I'll have to try some other way.
I don't think we've seen the last of Mr. Hardin.
I'm afraid he's only the first, Harriet. Well, we'll be ready for him. Open the safe, please. We placed 4 children born on September 15th. A girl, 2, 3 boys.
Then there are 3 women who could be the mother of that child.
No one's going to see those records. You understand, Harriet? No one. Not even ourselves.
That you, Bill?
It's me, Mrs. Chase.
Oh, Josie, would you get some ice out, please?
Sure you couldn't use some help, Susan?
It's practically done. He'll only be gone 3 days.
Susan?
Yes?
Would you like me to stay here until Bill comes back?
Thanks, Mother. But I'll be fine. Is anything wrong, Mother?
I was only thinking, I don't see as much of you as I used to.
You don't have to pretend. I know why you're here today.
Of course you do, darling. Your husband's going on a trip. I thought you might want company.
I suppose the date today had nothing to do with it.
All right, Susan. I admit I was worried.
Look, Mother, let's get this straight once and for all. I'm happier than any girl deserves to be. I have a wonderful husband and we have a wonderful life. What's past is past. We decided that 5 years ago. I don't steal upstairs once a year to wring my hands and shed quiet tears. I've wrapped up my girlish grief, tied it in a ribbon, and locked it away for good. This is just another day. So what are you worried about?
Forgive me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mother. You will stay, won't you?
Yes, of course, darling.
It must be Bill.
You go on down. I'll finish packing.
Thanks. Don't forget the shaving cream.
Hi.
Hello, darling. Was it my imagination, or did you just kiss me?
Got to pack.
It's all taken care of. Mother's finishing it. Come on. Fix your drink.
Lucky me. Anything new on the Johnny Peterson thing?
Who's Johnny Peterson?
You mean you haven't heard?
No.
Oh, you disappoint me, Mrs. Chase. A good American housewife loves her radio first and her husband second.
I've been getting you ready for a trip, remember? I haven't had time to hear anything about anything.
You poor, overworked slave.
Well, that's more like the man I married. So's that. Bill, Mother's in the house.
She is, eh? Lucky for you.
She's gonna stay with me while you're gone.
Good. Keep you out of trouble.
Maybe you don't want this drink.
Quiet. I've been thinking about a martini all the way home. Hey, where's the news? You'd think they'd get out bulletins.
Who is this Johnny Peterson anyway? Why are you so interested?
Terrific story. Plane crash up in the Sierras. Man and his wife killed. Somehow the little boy survived. He's Johnny Peterson.
Not even injured?
Nobody knows. There's no way of getting to him except on foot.
Bill, how terrible.
Great way for a youngster to spend his birthday, isn't it? Hey, what about my drink?
What? Oh, sorry, darling. Here. See if it's dry enough.
Oh, perfect. Perfect as usual.
We have just concluded a program of recorded favorites. This is station KWB, the voice of San Diego.
Here we go. Now you'll hear all about it. Hello, Mother.
Hello, Bill. You're all packed and ready to go.
Drink, Mother?
Thank you.
We take you now to the editorial room for our roundup of the news.
Here it comes.
In the deepening shadow of Thunder Mountain, preparations are underway to rescue little Johnny Peterson, believed miraculously alive after a plane crash that killed Eric and Helga Peterson of Los Angeles. When Army Air Force Pictures gave the first hint that Johnny might be alive, a helicopter twice tried to land a volunteer rescuer, Sergeant William Lyons, but failed because of perilous downdrafts. State patrolmen, forest rangers, and mountaineers are now converging on Jackson's Lodge at the base of Thunder Mountain. There, an effort will be made at dawn to scale the sheer face of the cliff, literally hand over hand. Meanwhile, the tragedy takes on added poignancy with the revelation that Johnny Peterson, whose 5th birthday it is today, was an adopted child. This sturdy little boy, whose plight on a darkening mountain has captured the tense imagination of the entire country, was adopted from the shelter home for foundlings in Los Angeles. It was while en route to Los Angeles in a private plane piloted by Mr. Peterson.
Forget it, honey. It was giving me the jitters, too.
I'll do it, Bill. You better hurry. You haven't much time.
You're right. Don't give it another thought. I'll just go upstairs and change.
Susan. Susan, get hold of yourself. Susan, do you think yours was the only child born 5 years ago today?
He came from the shelter.
They handle hundreds of babies.
Mother, you only have to look at it.
What do you expect me to see?
Well, he has my mouth and my color.
Is that your evidence? A newspaper picture 5 years later? Be sensible.
I can't help it. I can feel it is mine.
All right, what if he is? There isn't anything you can do about it. Except throw away your marriage. What do you think you can tell Bill?
Well, I should have told him a long time ago. The truth.
It's too late for the truth. Darling, listen to me.
If I hadn't listened to you, my child wouldn't be on that mountain.
I'm trying to help you. You made a mistake and you've done your penance. 5 minutes ago, you told me you wrapped up your girlish grief. Don't bring it out into the open again. Don't do this to yourself. And Susan, don't do it to Bill.
If that's Ralph, honey, tell him I'll be right down.
It's written all over your face, Susan. Pull yourself together.
Come in, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you. Hello, Miss Connor.
Hello, Ralph.
Hi, Susan. Our boy ready?
He's coming right now. You all set for the case, Ralph?
If Lewis and Chase don't win this one, we're hocking our law books and going on the beach.
We're more likely to win if we get there in time. Oh, Betty driving us to the station?
Well, she certainly wants to.
Hi, Mrs. Connors. Hello, Betty.
Bill.
Oh, excuse me, folks. Official business.
I do love you.
Don't tell me that now, honey. I've got to go to Sacramento. Miss me.
I will, darling.
Bye, Mother. And keep the wolves from the door.
Shall we see a movie when I get rid of the legal eagles?
Perhaps tomorrow, Betty.
Right, I'll call you. Bye.
Come on. Susan. You sit down, darling. I'll see about dinner.
This transcribed program.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you another on-the-spot report from Thunder Mountain.
This is Bill Welsh. In the glare of the emergency lights, men are working feverishly to prepare for the ascent, which will start at dawn. This reporter hasn't seen such teamwork since the war, 5 years ago. It was 5 years ago. 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 5 years ago.
Joe gave me a message. What happened? What's wrong?
We got our Christmas presents early. We're shipping out.
Oh, Paul.
They wouldn't let me call, and I couldn't leave without saying goodbye to you.
Paul, darling, I love you so.
Don't say that. Supposing I don't come back to you.
You will. Nothing's going to happen.
That isn't what I mean. Susan, I had to see you because I had to talk to you. I haven't much time.
It's something more than shipping out.
Susan, this hasn't just been another shore leave. You've got to believe that. If you weren't so wonderful, I'd have just gotten on that ship and gone.
Paul, what are you trying to say?
There's someone else.
Someone else?
Back home, before I met you. I can't forget her. I've tried to, but I can't.
You really love her?
We went to school together. We've known each other since we were kids. Susan, I can't even explain it to myself. All I can ask is, please forgive me. Say something. Say goodbye to me. Tell me you hope I get killed, but don't just stand there looking at me.
Hold it! What are you doing here? You on shipment?
Yes, sir.
All right, get his name.
Forget it. I'm going to give you a break. Get back to your barracks and stay there.
Thank you, sir.
Don't thank me, thank Christmas. And her. You better go on home, miss. Your feet are wet. You're liable to catch cold.
Susan. Susan! Operator!
What'll I do now?
You've got a whole life ahead of you, darling. A rich, full life. You've got to go on living.
I'm so ashamed. When I went to the doctor, I pretended I was married. He knew I wasn't. Why didn't you let me die?
No, Susan. You made one mistake, a bad one. I won't let you make another. I've thought it all out. We'll go away until it's all over, and then we'll come back. Alone. No one need ever know. Trust me, darling. I want to forgive you. I hope God will, too. In the last few months, I've begun to feel as though the bookstore are really my own. All your usual customers come in and ask how you and Susan are enjoying your trip. I know they'll be delighted when I tell them that you are returning in about 2 weeks.
Mother, I can't go through with it. I won't let my child be adopted.
All the arrangements have been made.
I can't help that. I won't give him up.
What do you plan to do instead?
Keep him. Bring him up.
And what pose will you maintain?
He'll never know. I'll tell him I was married, that his father was killed.
You can't keep that kind of secret forever. Don't cheat your son, Susan. Think of the moment when he finds out.
But giving him away, my own flesh and blood, it's wrong. Unnatural.
Living with an illegitimate child will be wrong and unnatural, too, only it will last the rest of your life. This will be over in a few months. It's right and natural for every child to be brought up in a normal home. You must realize that.
It's so terrible that I'm fighting for my own child.
No, Susan. After all, I'm fighting for my child. I'll come back this evening. Now you get some rest. Just a minute, nurse. You must be new here.
Yes, I am.
This baby never goes to its mother.
Oh?
Oh, nurse. I'm Mrs. Connors. May I hold the baby for a moment?
Of course.
I'm sorry. You'll have to make those arrangements with Mrs. Andrews personally. She'll be back at the shelter at 5. Yes.
Spread on child welfare might be interesting, don't you think? Just whistling in the dark myself. Bad joke. Sorry.
Why don't you keep quiet, or would you like to wear a sign with your name on it?
Relax. The way you're acting, you'd think you were the father. Look at that. Isn't she a classic example? Shh. Man.
Hey, I could swear I've seen that girl before.
You have. That was Anne Lawrence.
Will you come in now, please?
Before you sign these final surrender papers, Miss Connors, it's my duty to tell you that upon signing them, you sever all connections, both legal and personal, with your child. You've no recourse through law for recovering your child. And never under any conditions will his whereabouts or any information concerning him be available to you. You understand, Miss Connors? Is it empty?
No. It's me. No, can I park?
Right over there.
Thanks.
And in the dawn light, the drama here at Jackson's Lodge intensifies, with the preparation of the rescuers making ready for their perilous ascent. The volunteer climbers will be led by kingpin mountaineer Noel Stefani, expected momentarily from Winnipeg. Stefani is the only man available who has made the direct ascent up the sheer face of the south cliff where Johnny Peterson lies.
Sunglasses, lady? You're gonna need them when the sun comes up. Not many left, $3.
Rugged peaks in the Sierra Range. This climb, with a boy's life at stake, is one of the most desperate challenges ever hurled at the group of men who are attempting to scale the rocky cliffs. And now I want to bring you the man in charge of the operations here, Mr. Neil McDonald. Sir, could you tell our radio audience how high Thunder Mountain is?
It's 12,892 feet.
That's over 2 miles. Looking at it from here, it seems almost impossible that anyone could get to that peak.
Well, we're counting on Stefani.
We've been informed by the Bishop Airport that Stefani left there by car half an hour ago. I suppose the climbers will start up as soon as he arrives.
That's right.
Would you like to forecast how long it might take them to reach little Johnny Peterson?
Well, that depends on Stefani, sir, and God.
Thank you, Sheriff. And now, while we're waiting the imminent arrival of Noel Stefani, I want to bring some of the other climbers to the microphone. These volunteers from the rock climbing section of the Sierra Club are all from different walks of life, with but one thing in common, a relish for danger and for high places. Pardon me, would you be good enough to tell me your name?
Yes, sir. Paul Estes.
Where are you from, Paul?
Burbank.
I see. How long have you been doing mountain climbing?
Approximately 12 years.
I see. Undoubtedly, then, you've been in some rescues before this.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Paul. Over here on the emergency truck, one of the other climbers is working on some metal objects. Pardon me, may I have your name, sir?
My name is Lavelle.
And where are you from, Mr. Lavelle?
Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. What's your business?
Well, I'm an engineer, and I like to climb mountains particularly.
I see. Well, you're going to have a pretty grim task today. I wonder...
Yes, it is.
What you're using there, Mr. Lavelle?
These are pitons.
Oh, and how are they used?
Those are used to drive in cracks in the rocks, to anchor the carabiners and rope as a means of safety.
I see. The carabiner, that must be this sort of chain link there.
That's right.
You mean these little things are strong enough that they can stand your weight?
That is right. They will stand several thousand pounds full.
I see. Thank you very much. Over here by the Red Cross table, a couple of the other boys are having a cup of hot coffee. I bet that tastes pretty good this morning, doesn't it?
Really hits the spot.
What's your name?
Roy Gorin.
I see. And where from, Roy?
I'm from Los Angeles.
What's your business?
I'm with the Treasury Department, Bureau of Customs.
I see. The government, in other words, has given you a leave to participate in this rescue
That's
attempt.
right.
I see. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Over by the ambulance, one of the other fellows is packing away tennis shoes. Does that mean you're going to have to use different kinds of shoes in the climb today?
Yes, on the steep rock, we'll have to use tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm. What is your name?
Ray Van Aken.
Where are you from, Ray?
Los Angeles.
And do you work?
No, I go to school.
Oh, I see. Then mountain climbing is sort of a summer hobby with you.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you very much, Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from several of the climbers about to make the dangerous ascent up the side of South Cliff. It won't be long before...
Aerial photograph.
You know anything about the terrain up there, Stefani?
Can you tell me what course you'll take?
We'll approach the main buttress from the north, then take the south couloir. After the third pitch, we'll make a piton traverse to the west arête. Follow the west arête to the main head wall. After that, straight up.
How long do you think it'll take? That's enough, boys. We've got to get these men started. I won't waste any time, men. Stefani here will lead you. The Army will keep you spotted from the air, and your handy-talkie will keep you in touch with us. If by any chance we lose radio contact, you will use flares. When you reach the boy, send up one flare. If he's still alive, send up another. Dr. Ferguson will go along with first aid supplies. He's not an expert climber, so I'd suggest you keep him in the middle in case of a fall. I don't have to impress upon you that speed is important, but caution is also important. An injured man can cost you hours. Well, I guess that's all, men. Good luck, and God bless you for volunteering.
It's going to be a dangerous climb, but they go fully equipped, taking with them, as we can see, of course, and stretcher, which will be used to bring the young man down should that be necessary. And here at the base, an ambulance waits also to remove him quickly to the hospital if that need be. We know, of course, that the prayers of the nation, the prayers of everyone in this radio audience, go with this gallant band as they start their dangerous climb to the top of the mountain.
Can you see anything?
Just that it's no nursery.
May I take a look, please?
All you can see is rock.
Thank you.
See those two big boulders about halfway up?
Yes?
And I go straight up the side of the mountain until you come to a big piece of rock that looks like a hook.
Uh-huh.
That's Devil's Hook. Move over to the right a little bit where there's a sheer cliff wall. The boy's on the other side of the cliff.
Thank you.
How have you been? The shelter. Remember?
Oh, yes.
Seeing you here, I don't know whether to be disturbed or relieved. I never stopped to think he might be someone else's.
You mean you think he's your child?
Could be.
But mine was born on the 15th, and so was Johnny Peterson.
And so was mine.
I'm sure he's my son.
You found out?
No, but I'm sure.
Feminine instinct, huh? Come on. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Personally, I hope you're right. Wherever my kid is, I hope that he's well and happy. But I'd rather not see him again.
Why did you come here?
I'm just a reporter covering a story. Wouldn't it be ironic if it turned out to be my own?
Phil Horn.
Aye.
Since when do they send executives out to cover stories? I thought you were behind a big desk.
I tried to send the desk. It wouldn't come.
Sitting in that swivel chair hasn't changed you one bit.
I'm sorry, we're closed. We're out of season. We got no sheets. We got no help. We got no food in the kitchen. All we got's confusion.
Oh, Larry, that's the elephant.
Oh, Casey, the office told me you were here.
Oh, Phil.
Yeah.
Here's the coffee.
Oh, Hanson shipped down some film by motorcycle. I think we got the
I'll send that for you.
Thanks. Okay.
Hi.
You know better than that, Phil.
Can't kill a girl for trying. Take that table. I'll bring the coffee.
Hi, Phil.
Game's starting. Want a hand?
Later, when I find out who's got the money.
What's the idea inviting her? Women are no good in the poker game.
Are you kidding? She's won so much money, she's got bank books back to back.
If you want sugar, you're out of luck. There isn't any.
I don't really want any coffee. Thanks anyhow.
Take it easy. We won't know anything for hours.
I've got to know what's happening. I can't just sit here.
Sure. Go on outside and walk it off.
Tell me you've signed that kid up for his life story.
Charlie, where'd you come from?
I'm haunting you. I still haven't forgiven you for London.
They tell me you went up in the air like a V2.
I had those 4 heroes all sewed up. Next thing I knew, they were on a plane to New York with you. Cute.
That was one more back. Okay?
Okay. I guess you can get over a lot of things in 5 years.
I guess you can. 5 years is a long time.
See you later.
Attention, Air Transport Command, Flight 12A from London, arriving Gate 3.
Mark.
Phyllis, welcome home. How was the trip?
Oh, those bucket seats, my aching back. Where's Duffy?
Oh, he'll turn up. You know Duffy. Here. For my prettiest reporter.
Orchids. Next time, bring nylons.
Still the sentimentals. I'll take care of your boyfriend. That'll do it. I've got a car waiting for you and rooms reserved. Everything is on Trans-American News, sir. Take care of him, Henry, and see that none of them get lost. And bring Miss Horn's bag, please. Yes, sir. Come on, Phil. Let's get out of here.
Goodbye, fellas. See you later.
Okay,
behave yourselves now. Oh, those characters.
They did a great job.
No wonder. They've each got 4 hands. You should have been on the plane last night. They're all in love with me.
Well, don't let it go to your head.
I'd rather have it go to my bank book.
It will. You've just delivered 4 heroes to the American public, neatly packaged with a big pink bow. Tonight, we'll socket a course with the coast-to-coast broadcast. Then there'll be a buffet.
No, forget me after the broadcast. I'm going to be busy.
With Duffy?
He shows up. After a year, you'd think my husband would at least come to the airport to meet me. Why isn't he here?
Look, Phil, I've got an old spinster with glasses running my advice to the Lovelorn column. I don't want to get tangled up in what's between you and Duffy.
Where's he hiding out?
Madison Square Garden, Yankee Stadium, the sports desk. Take your pick.
I'll find him.
You've got the look.
What look?
I've met hundreds of guys coming back from overseas. You're just like they are. First thing they want is a companion and a chocolate soda.
What would I do with the chocolate soda? See anything of a fella about so tall, coat and pants don't match, wears a battered brown hat?
Oh, you mean Bob Duff? I'm back there.
Thanks. Need a good architect?
Well, well, look who's here. What happened? The war over?
You gonna kiss me? At least you could buy an old pal a drink.
Sit down, old pal. The way they build things nowadays, no foundation, just like people.
You said that is pretty clever.
I'm a fan of yours, too. I read every word you write. I always wondered what you were like in person.
Trying to draw blood? Cut the stalling, Duffy.
Okay, you want it straight?
Shoot.
I'm getting a divorce.
You're kidding.
Am I? Look, Phil, I happen to be a sentimental guy that comes from a big family of 12 kids. I get lonesome without 11 people around. Or even one.
What do you want me to do? Stay home and cook for you? Wash the dishes? No. I'm not the type, Duffy. You knew that from the beginning.
And ever since the beginning, you've been in and out of my life like a weekend visitor. This time, don't bother to check in.
But this time there happens to be a war. I didn't start it. I'm sorry there is one. But so long as there is, I'm a chump if I don't make it pay off for me.
I don't like war profiteers. You sell agony by the paragraph.
You were noble about the war, so you got yourself a Purple Heart. Well, now let me get something for us.
Oh, that reminds me. Here are your checks, uncashed.
What checks?
The ones you had slipped into my weekly envelope to pay for the maid and the extras.
Duffy, I don't understand you.
7 years ago, I didn't understand you either. You had me fooled for a while, long enough to get a license and marry you. Just for a moment there, I thought you were a human being. Ever since then, in 100 ways, you've been proving different. Well, it's all over, baby. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to leave.
Who's playing tonight?
Me and a Miss Smith. She's a simple, honest little dope. But she thinks taking care of Bob Duff's the most important job on earth.
I think Bob Duff's the most important man on earth, too. That's the truth.
So long.
You're making a big mistake, Duffy. There's one legitimate thing about me. It's the way I love you.
Put it in your column.
Wait. Okay. You win. Just one last favor. You kiss me goodbye?
If that's your artillery, you just fired a blank.
Look out, Duffy. You're limping.
Trans-American News Service. Mr. Jackson? No, I'm sorry, he's gone home. Okay, goodbye. Why, Miss Horn, welcome home. Gee, your stuff's been wonderful.
Thanks.
Hiya, Phil. Glad you're back.
How are things breaking, Eddie?
No complaints.
Good. Are you alone?
No.
Sorry I bothered you.
Shh. Sleeping.
Soundly!
All right, I'm leaving. Welcome home. The bed's warm. I'll be upstairs sleeping with Al.
What's on your mind?
I thought you might be lonesome without 11 people around. Or even one. I didn't know about Max.
Well, now you know. What else?
Do you mind?
One of these is going to taste of toothpaste.
I like bourbon and toothpaste. For years, Duffy. I got the toothpaste.
And the drink.
Look, I know it's late, but I'd like to speak my piece before I go.
Just so you keep it under 1,000 words.
It's only 2 words. I'm scared. I mean it, Duffy. Ever since I sold my first squib for $5, I've been fighting to get to the top. Been ruthless, connived, stepped all over people. Fought like a man in a man's world, and I made it. But I don't want to lose you, Duffy, because this is home plate. If I lose you, I'll roam around like a homeless alley cat with no place to come back to. Don't throw me out.
Why is it the only time you ever sound like a woman is in this crummy room?
Because it's ours, Duffy.
I shouldn't have let you in.
Couldn't keep me out. It's always been that way with us. I won't be running out on you, Duffy. I'll either do my writing from here or I'll give it up. Honest.
Welcome home, Mrs. Duff. What's the matter?
Only got one shoe on.
Let's do something about that, shall we?
Anybody home?
In here.
What in heaven's name are you doing?
As you can plainly see, I'm cooking a meatloaf and no crack.
Put that silly ladle down and start packing.
What I said last week still goes. Get yourself another girl.
The world's trembling on the brink and you're bending over a stove. The whole Pacific's going to blow wide open. We just got word to have someone take off in 2 hours to cover it. They're only taking 6 reporters, Phil, and you're one of them.
The Army will just have to do without me. Or is it the Navy?
I don't know. I only know it's big. This came right from the top. This is no sideshow. I don't know what it is, but I'll make a small bet right now it'll sound like the crack of doom when it comes. Now get going.
No, sir. Duffy and I signed a peace treaty. I'm not going to blow up my world.
Your world? This is the biggest assignment I've ever offered you. It's so big I thought of going myself, but I'm bringing it to you. This will make you the biggest newspaper woman since Nellie Bly.
Never heard of her.
Well, you've heard of Mark Harrison. I gave you your first job. You're Phyllis Horn because I made you Phyllis Horn.
But, Mark, you're asking me to break up my marriage.
Duffy's a grown man. I'll make him understand. Admit it, Phil. You want to go.
Of course I want to go. But I don't want to lose my husband. How could I ever tell him?
Stick a note in the meatloaf. You're not going to lose him. I'll take full responsibility. I'll tell him you fought me like a tiger, that I ordered you to go, that I threatened to break you, that you'd never work for another newspaper as long as you lived. He'll listen to reason. You see, I'm a very persuasive man. I just persuaded you, didn't I? Let me handle Duffy. Then you call him from San Francisco and clinch it. The car will pick you up in an hour.
I won't even have time to say goodbye.
Don't worry, I'll think up a farewell message. It'll have him panting like a schoolboy.
So long, Mark. I just got your message. And don't you bother to phone from San Francisco.
Don't be sore, Duffy. You heard him. I'll only be gone a month. 2 at the most. I've got to do this.
Sure, I heard. Thanks for hesitating. Now, you better hurry. You only got an hour.
But I must cover this assignment. It means an awful lot to me. Don't you understand?
That's the trouble. I do understand. I'm sorry for you, Phil. You tried very hard to be a woman. You just couldn't make it.
Well, Doc?
This makes you practically unique in these islands.
Baby. This really complicates things.
No need to worry about that. I'll make arrangements to get you back to the States. I'll manage everything.
You couldn't manage to get my husband back for me, could you? He divorced me 2 weeks ago. Is he going to be surprised? You know what his grounds were? He said I wasn't a woman.
San Francisco. All right, I'll take it. Hello? Who? Oh, Phyllis. No, this is Max. Yeah, Duffy's not here. He got married last week. Didn't you know? Yeah, to a Miss Smith. Hello. Hello, Phil. Phil?
I'm still here, Max. Sorry I woke you up. If you see Duffy, tell him I wish him all the luck in the world.
Well, is it all over?
All over.
Phil, I hope you're not making a mistake.
It was the only sensible thing to do. I don't want to mess up Duffy's life. He's married. I'm free to do as I please. The kid will have a mother and a father. Now we can all scramble for ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, come on, there's a report coming in.
What's happening?
I don't know. They're getting some kind of report, but I can't hear what they're saying.
Wait here. I'll keep you posted.
Sorry.
Phyllis Horn, Transamerican News Service.
Okay, miss.
Couple of rock falls so far, but nothing troublesome. Got a long way to go yet, but not as long as the North Wall route. Like Stefani said, the shortest way is the steepest way.
Spotting plane to Stefani. Spotting plane to Stefani. Loose rock in the chute above you. Bear a couple of points east if you can. Bear a couple of points east if you can. Over.
It looks better a little bit to the left. Stefani to plane. He says okay.
Headquarters to Stefani. How far would you say you have to go? Over.
Hold it a minute, will you, while I ask him. He's got his hands full right now. Look out! Run!
Come in, Stefani. Come in, Stefani. Headquarters to spotting plane. Headquarters to spotting plane. Have lost contact with Stefani. Will you try? Over.
Spotting plane to headquarters. Rock fall came right down on them. Can't see anything now for dust. Spotting plane to Stefani. Can you hear me? Come in, Stefani.
Headquarters to Stefani. Can you hear me? Come in, Stefani. Over.
Hello, headquarters. It's clearing up now. I can see him.
I'll get this in for you guys. Cover for me.
We're searching
What's wrong? We don't know yet. Don't know yet.
Oh, please, you must tell me what's happened.
It's been an accident.
We can see him loading them now.
It's all right. It was a slight accident. One of the men's hurt and they're bringing him down. But the others are going on.
Are you sure?
Why should I lie about it?
So you better get ready to rush that injured man to a hospital. From here, he looks like he's in plenty of pain.
Let's lay him right on here.
What's your name?
I'm the only one hurt. We'll give you all a dose as soon as we take care of you. Easy now. Is it a compound park?
Roy. Where were you when the slide hit?
Stefani had just started up the main head wall.
What happens now, Sheriff?
Fanny and the others are trying to make it up the main head wall. Think they'll do it, Roy?
They're all good, strong climbers, Sheriff. There's no question about it. They'll make it.
Well, there's your answer, boys.
Keep your fingers crossed. There's still a good chance. Let's go inside.
Okay, here's the dope. Some of the rescue party had to turn back. Joe Gleason of Bishop busted his leg. Yeah, Gleason. They're taking him to county hospital now.
The longer that kid has to wait, the tougher his chances are.
Yeah, Gleason. Well, this climb is no picnic. I'll bet $1 we end up with a casualty list on this one. Yeah, I'm sending in the dope now.
You must be doing all right, Ed, with all this going on.
All the money in the world isn't worth making if they can't get that baby down. I'd hock the mortgage to have him right here.
Hey, let's have that.
Let go of me.
Come on, sister, that bottle's spoken for.
Let go.
Come on, Harden, you can lick her.
Lady, he's yellow.
I'm betting on the dame.
Take your filthy hands off me.
Nice work, kid.
Well, what are you all staring at? Go back and write your headlines. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Let's see what kind of a story you can get out of a kid's body.
What's she taking it so hard for?
She's loaded. Here, you keep the bottle. You need it more than I do. Say, Benji, we got a new guest up here. Anne Lawrence. I don't know how long she's been out, but she's out. Listen, didn't she have a baby? Yeah, that's what I thought. Find out when it was born, will you, and what happened to it? No, just a wild hunch. Get going, huh?
Thanks. You're Anne Lawrence, aren't you?
So what if I am?
Don't give it another thought. Keep an eye on her.
Have one?
You can buy all the food you want outside. I can't feed anybody. Haven't got a cook and the gas is turned off.
Jackson.
Can't do a thing.
Jackson, I want a room. A nice big room.
You crazy? If my mother arrived right now, I couldn't put her up.
Yeah, but your mother hasn't got this.
Don't do that. It makes me dizzy. You just got my room. 101.
You got a big heart, Jackson.
Yeah. Now, where do I sleep?
Don't you think you've had enough? No. And I don't see how you can stay sober if you think that's your kid up there.
Look, let's stop picking on each other. We're all in the same boat, you know.
Yeah. When they told me at the shelter there were 3 women, I thought they were just trying to put me off.
They weren't. I can vouch for the third personally.
It's very funny, isn't it? 3 little maids who lost their way, waiting together. It's very funny.
A scream. But this room's too small to get hysterical in. We got a long time to wait.
I've been waiting. Have to have that mountain staring at us all the time? Can't stand to look up there anymore. He's lying dead. Don't say that.
A couple of drinks don't make you a fortune teller.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be alive at that. I need him. Ever since it happened, I always counted on finding him. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Get it. We're all on edge.
6 years old. When they were making this, I was in love. Oh, what am I telling you for? Go ahead, it might help. Nothing helps.
Get it out of your system anyway.
You sound pretty anxious. Is that why you brought me up here? So you could get a story?
Your story was in every paper in the country. I don't have to get it from you.
Do you believe everything you read? You don't know the true story. I never printed I was in love with him. Everybody thought I was after Gordon Crosley because he was important. Well, they were wrong. I didn't care who he was or what he had. Because to me, he was everything I respected and admired. He was everything I ever hoped to find in a man. And he was in love with me. No, I didn't go after him. He found me. He liked the way I danced. He liked my looks. And he let me know of his love in 100 ways. It became more and more perfect. Just what I thought being in love would always be. And when I came out of the theater, New York was mine. There was the card, just like it was every night. But standing beside it was the one sour note. Del Prince, Gordon's jack-of-all-trades, handyman, companion. I never understood their relationship.
Good evening, Miss Lawrence.
Hello, Del.
Take Miss Lawrence home.
Where's Mr. Crosley?
Busy.
We were supposed to go to the Martins for supper. Isn't he going to be there?
He doesn't tell me everything he does. He just told me to see that you got home.
Did he say he'd call me tomorrow?
Good night, Miss Lawrence. All right, Joe.
Take me to Mr. Crosley's apartment.
Sorry, Miss Lawrence, but Mr. Prince says
I don't care what he said. Take me to Mr. Crosley's apartment.
Very well, Miss Lawrence.
Oh, Miss Lawrence.
Mr. Crosley in, Matthews?
He's not here, miss.
I'll wait.
Oh, I don't know, Miss Lawrence. I was trying to tell you.
It's all right, Matthews. You can finish packing. You, don't do as you're told, do you, Miss Lawrence?
Where's he going?
Oh, he's gone. Urgent business on the coast. You know how it is, the war.
It isn't like him to leave without saying goodbye.
I was to say goodbye for him. Goodbye, Miss Lawrence. Maybe you'd like a drink?
When did he decide to go?
I don't read his mind.
No, you just sift what goes into it.
Is that what I do? I've often wondered what my job was. Now I know.
How did you persuade him I was no good for him? How could you make him believe you?
You got me all wrong. I just work for a living.
And I was getting in the way, wasn't I? He loves me and I love him. And it'll take more than someone like you to come between us.
Get smart. This is the kiss-off. The romance is over.
No, it isn't. I'm going to Gordon.
I wouldn't. 3,000 miles is a long way to travel just to have a guy say no. Miss Lawrence, have that drink. Think it over.
A few days later, I was on the coast. It wasn't hard to find Gordon Crosley. Mr. Gordon Crosley.
Your name, please?
Miss Lawrence, Anne Lawrence.
Oh, room 324. Go right up.
Has he been expecting me?
Yes, Miss Lawrence.
Come in. Nice, huh?
Where's Gordon?
Oh, this is my room. Would you like that drink now? I warned you it wouldn't be worth a 3,000-mile trip.
Del. I have to see him.
Let me put it a little more directly, then. He doesn't want to see you.
Why are you doing this?
What?
Keeping him away from me. What kind of lies have you told him?
Me? You don't think Mr. Crosley listened to anything I said. Mr. Crosley's a genius. It says so in all the papers.
What do you know about a genius?
That his checks are good.
I know why you're trying to keep us apart. You're frightened.
Is that it?
It didn't occur to you that he could finally fall in love with someone. You're frightened that if he gets married, you won't have a job anymore.
Look, Miss Lawrence, you don't like me, and that's all right. A lot of people don't. And maybe I'm not crazy about them either. But I don't want to hurt anyone. And that goes for you, too. So why don't you take the hint and go back home? He's got his own life. He likes it. Write him off like a bad debt.
I can't.
A lot of girls fall in love with Mr. Crosley. Why, there was a dame just a year before you. Rich, society. She got nowhere either. I'm telling you what's best for you. Go home. Forget him. Because he's forgotten you.
I'm not like the others. It's different this time.
Not for him, it isn't.
I'm going to have his baby.
That is different.
Thank you very much.
Does Mr. Crosley know about this?
How can he when you won't let me talk to him? Del, I only want to see him. Just let me tell him myself. That isn't much to ask for, is it?
Okay, you can see him. He'll be here around 7:30. Why don't you come back then? Penthouse. Come in. Well, right on time. Come on in. Don't look so surprised, Miss Lawrence. You know me, Del Prince, always around. Can I take you around?
Has Gordon arrived?
We'll discuss that in a minute. Sit down. I spoke to him, told him everything you told me. Mr. Crosley wanted you to meet an old friend of yours, Bobby Lynch.
Hello, Ann.
I'm sorry. I don't think I know you.
Bobby Lynch, honey, remember?
Remember what?
Us, baby, us.
Who is this man? I never met him before in my life.
Mr. Crosley says you have. Bobby says so, too. Where was it, Bobby?
The Leighton Hotel, February the 23rd, February the 27th, and March the 4th. We had room 1206. It was cozy, too.
And it says so on the hotel register.
What do you mean?
It's like this, Miss Lawrence. Mr. Crosley thinks you're trying to shake him down with all this talk about a kid. So, being a genius, he knows how to handle these things.
Are you trying to tell me that Gordon knows this man?
Mr. Crosley knows a lot of men who say they know you. They're willing to swear to it, too.
What a filthy mind you have to think this up. If Gordon ever heard you say these things to me, he'd kill you.
I think he has heard. He's in there.
Let go of me.
He'll tell you himself if he has to. But he's a gentleman, so he'd prefer that I did it.
I'm going in there.
Wait a minute. That's all, Bobby. Thank you very much.
Not at all. Goodbye, Mr. Prince. Goodbye, baby.
Take a tip from me. Don't go in there. For your own good. I know this is rough, but it's easier to take coming from me than from him because you don't love me.
Get out of my way.
Before you go in there, look at this. He wanted you to have it. It's a check for $10,000 to take care of everything and cover a lot of heartbreak besides. You recognize the writing? I can't sign his checks.
I'd hoped you wouldn't do this. But since you insist, I'll have to tell you the truth.
He began
I thought
talking.
that perhaps all this would be less...
I never knew quite what he said.
Direct.
I suddenly realized that it wasn't Del. That it was Gordon who had schemed and figured this whole thing out.
Let me have the police. I think you'd better have that drink now.
The people of the state of California were kind. They called it manslaughter. The sentence was 1 to 10 years. My baby and I started to prison. Then, early in September, I was taken to the superintendent's office.
The state has no quarrel with your child, Anne. It's the right of every citizen to be born without prejudice and without stain. So we've made arrangements for you to have your baby outside these walls.
Thank you.
Now, regarding the future of the baby, have you any relatives or friends? No one to whom you would entrust the child? Oh. Well, then I recommend that you turn your baby over to an accredited agency, which will care for it and plan its future.
When they let me out of prison, it was like a nightmare. I had nothing except a son, and I didn't know where he was. I just wanted to see him, to look at him, but it was no use. I started drinking to forget and only remembered more. And then this morning, I finally found him, up there. Well, at least you aren't to blame. You couldn't help yourself. They took your son away. I gave them mine because I was a coward. Sorry I spoke out of turn. I'm all right now. Just tired. There's a bed in the other room. Why don't you get some sleep?
Come on. I'll wake you if anything happens.
I saw your wedding ring. Does your husband know about this? No. Then you're a fool if you don't beat it back home, right now. I should have told Bill right at the start. You see, when my baby was born, I can't have any more children. That's why I have to wait here until they find Johnny, just in case he's mine.
Go and rustle up some news. Make yourself at home. You look as if a little sleep wouldn't hurt you either.
I'm fine, thanks.
Sure. We're all fine.
Would you do something for me? Do you think you can get a wire through?
I think so. Who's it to?
Mr. William Chase. Carlton Hotel, Sacramento. I'm at Jackson's Lodge, Thunder Mountain. If possible, please come here at once. It's important to us both. Susan.
Sure you want to send this?
Yes, I'm sure.
Good.
Feeling better?
Yeah.
What's going on up there? I don't know. I can't see anything.
They just reported from the plane. They spotted flashlights about 50 feet from the ledge.
Thank heaven.
Not yet. Nobody knows what they'll find there.
Look. Look. They've reached him.
If he's alive, there'll be another one.
Please, God. Let him be alive.
Let's be sensible. There's only one thing to do now. I'm going to find out who the mother is. Yes, I know. But if you don't get me that information, I'll never write another line for Transamerica as long as I live. Did you hear me, Mark? I know what their rules are. And I know enough about Transamerica and your methods to know you can get me that information. Somehow.
How do I know what his condition is? I'm not up on the mountain. Well, tell Murray to run more stuff on Stefani, the mountain climber. And give those guys plenty of pictures. They deserve them.
The doctor here figures the kid can have burns, contusions, fractures, frostbite, and pneumonia. Take your choice.
They're not sliding down the mountain, you know. What do you want me to do, give them a push? It'll be another 5 or 6 hours.
Although several hours have passed since flares from the top of Thunder Mountain announced that little Johnny Peterson was alive, not one person in the crowd here at Jackson's Lodge has made any move to leave. As dawn comes, many of them are emerging from the fitful sleep they caught under blankets and within their automobiles. Sheriff McDonald waits anxiously for the return of the rescuers he is sent on a dangerous mission. And the Red Cross ladies still continue to serve food and coffee to the newspaper reporters and others here. On the job also are the Air Force men, maintaining constant communication, tired from a vigil that has lasted for many hours.
Manager around.
Where can I find Mrs. Chase?
Who?
Mrs. William Chase. Isn't she registered?
Nobody's registered. I wouldn't know if Buffalo Bill and Annie Oakley were in the bridal suite.
Can you page her?
What?
I said, can you page her?
You've got a loud enough voice. Why don't you page her?
Are you Mr. Chase?
Yes, I am.
Jackson doesn't know it, but your wife's in his room. 101.
Oh, thanks.
Bill.
What's the matter? What's wrong?
Don't, please. Don't say anything. Just let me talk. There's something I should have told you a long time ago. I may lose you because of it, but I have to tell you. Before we were married, before I met you, I was in love with a boy. I thought I was. And Bill, I think Johnny Peterson's my child. I couldn't tell you, Bill. I wanted to, but I just couldn't.
Didn't you think I loved you enough? Oh, it must have been awful for you, wondering about him. Now to find him like this.
I'm not sure he's my child, but if he is...
If he is, he's my child, too. I couldn't deny him to you. Not after the years of happiness you've given me. Now, let's go out and wait for him.
That's what I thought. Oh, wait a minute. Give me those dates again, will you, Irish? Okay, goodbye.
Hello? Who? Just a minute. Long distance for you, Miss Horn.
Is that it? I don't know. Hello? Yes, this is Miss Horn. Hello, Mark? I don't care if you might have had to serve 10 years. Whose child is it? Oh. Thanks.
Well?
He's yours, Anne.
Morning, ladies. Anything left in my bottle? I'll let you in on a secret, Phil. Your syndicate's got a partner. I know about Miss Lawrence, too. I spotted her yesterday. There was something familiar about her.
What about it?
Anne Lawrence, while serving a sentence for the slaying of Gordon Crossley, gave birth to a son on September 15th, 1944. Need I say more? Tell me, Miss Lawrence, how does it feel to be the mother of that boy? You're gonna make a beautiful hunk of copy.
You come with me.
My paper will cut her down to size.
And you'll probably get a bonus.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. It'll help make up for the 2 nights I've spent in this creep joint.
And what's your paper going to do for the boy?
I don't get you.
He's the one who's going to be hurt by all of this.
What is this, Phil? A song and dance?
I'm just asking you not to print it.
Oh.
Even if they get that kid down alive, he's going to be in a pretty tough spot. Right back where he started. Just don't think it would be a very nice feeling to be the one who ruined what chance he's got by telling the world that his mother killed his father.
I'm touched, Phil, but it's a story.
I had the story yesterday. It could have been on the streets by now.
A good newspaper man leaves his emotions at home when he goes out on a job. You ought to know that.
All right, Hart. I've done my best. Now you go and do your worst. Go on, what are you waiting for?
Tears from the Rock of Gibraltar?
Beat it, you got a story to file.
One thing first, why are you taking this so hard? Are those real?
Smog.
Level with me, Phil. What's your stake in this?
All right, Hardin. I'll give you an exclusive. That might have been my kid. For a while yesterday, I thought it was. Well, print that too. That's a story.
The story's dead.
You aren't going to use it?
Look, it took a lot of guts for you to tell me this, didn't it? You of all people. No, I won't use the story.
Thanks, Hardin.
Two things I never thought I'd live to see. Me killing a story and Phil Horn worrying about somebody else.
Yes, sir. It's been quite a morning.
Hey, watch it, Hardin. You're liable to end up with a tambourine.
It's all right. There'll be no story.
Boy, is he all right? Will he live?
He's going to be all right.
You were really cut out to be a mother, weren't you?
Who is the mother? Did you find out?
We canceled the call.
But why?
We thought it was better if we never found out. In a way, he belongs to all three of us, and since all of us can't have him, we decided that you're the one to try to adopt him.
I don't understand.
Yes. That was our decision.
But you can't just leave it like this. You're not being fair to yourselves. You blame yourself all your life if you don't find out.
Listen, Susan, you can get Johnny. No court in the world would turn you two down.
But if he's yours?
Even if he turned out to be mine, I have nothing to offer him. Don't make me find him just to lose him all over again. It's much easier to tell myself that maybe he's yours.
You know how much this means to me. I wish it were different for you. You'll never have to worry about Johnny again.
Either of you.
Come on, champ. I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
You know, I just noticed something for the first time. It's beautiful.